Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and legislative assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and a faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Next order.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
May I call upon Honorable Nicholas Nzioka to lay down the paper.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to lay the following papers on the table of the Assembly today, the 14th March 2023. 1. Report of the Auditor General on Machakos County Executive for the year ended 30th June 2022. Number 2, second quarter progress report for financial year 2022-2023 for the Department of Tourism and Culture.
Thank you, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The two papers, paper number 1 to be committed to the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, and paper number 2 to be committed to the Tourism and Culture Committee. May I call upon Honorable Stephen Mwandi, Deputy Speaker, to come over and lay his paper. Yes, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm raising on standing order number 27 on extension of time. Since the standing order says that morning session will be 10 to 12:30, and right now it's already midday. So, Honorable Speaker, I wish to move a motion that this, pursuant to standing order number 27, that the House resolves to extend its sitting time until the business in the order paper is concluded. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I call upon Honorable Brian Kisila to second my motion.
Madam Speaker, I second.
I wish to move the motion that, I propose that pursuant to Standing Order number 27 that the House resolves to extend sitting time until business in the order paper is completed. I put the question that the House, that pursuant to Standing Order number 27, that the House resolved to extend sitting time until business in the order paper is completed. And as many are of the opinion, say ayes. As many are of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. Proceed, Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm Stephen Mwande, representing Ekalakala, Ikatini Ward. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 25, I wish to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly today, Tuesday, the 13th day of March 2023. The calendar of the House Assembly for the second session of the third Assembly. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Wish to call upon Honorable Grace Bahati, Chairperson, Education Committee, to lay the paper.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Grace Bahati, MCH Eleni Ward. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly today, 14th March 2023, pursuant to Regulation 11, Sub-Article 3 of the Public Finance Management, Machakos County Bursary Fund, Regulation 2019. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Next order. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
May I call upon Honorable Stephen Mwandi to present the notice of motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. That aware that the calendar enables the Assembly to plan the execution of its business, and it sets out a schedule of days for the House sittings and days of recess. Aware that Standing Order number 24, Sub-Order 1, provides that the regular sessions of the Assembly shall commence on the second Tuesday of February and terminate on the first Thursday of December. Honorable Speaker, further aware that Standing Order number 25, Sub-Order 1, requires the House Business Committee, with the approval of the Assembly, to draw up the calendar of the Assembly. Aware that Standing Order number 25, Sub-Order 2, provides that once the calendar of the Assembly is approved by the House, it shall be published in the Gazette, the Assembly website, and at least 2 newspapers of national circulation. Acknowledging the House Business Committee prepared the calendar of the second session of the third Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I wish to give notice of the motion that, pursuant to Standing Order 25, Sub-Order 1, this House approves the Assembly calendar for the second session of the third Assembly as annexed in the order paper. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. May I call upon Honorable Grace Bahati, Chairperson, Education Committee, to proceed and give the notice of motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that aware that the objectives and the purpose of the Public Finance Management, Machakos County Bursary Fund, Regulations 2019 is to provide financial assistance to the needy students. Cognizant that Regulations 11, Sub-Article 1 of the Public Finance Management, Machakos County Bursary Fund, Regulations 2019, outlines the composition of the Ward Bursary Committee, and further aware that Regulation 12 provides the functions of the said committee. Aware that Regulation 11, Sub-Article 3 confers the County Executive Committee member with powers to forward the nominees to the Ward Bursary Committee to the County Assembly for consideration and approval, and further aware that the said nominees were forwarded via the letter dated 13th February 2023, and aware that an amendment to the original forwarded list was forwarded via a letter reference dated 7th March 2023 in compliance with Regulation 11, Sub-Article 3. Acknowledging that the forwarded nominees were committed to the Committee on Education and Social Services, and aware that the committee scrutinized the forwarded documents in line with Regulation 11, Sub-Article 3 and 4 of the Public Finance Management, Machakos County Bursary Fund, Regulations 2019. I wish to give notice that this Honorable House considers and approves the report of the Education and Social Services Committee on consideration of nominees for appointment to the position of Ward Bursary Committee laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 14th March 2023. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Bahati. Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
May I call upon Honorable Nicholas Nzioka to proceed and make statements.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee met today on 14th March 2023 to prioritize business for the House as forwarded by committees and honorable members pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Order number 151, Suborder 6D. The committee balloted as follows. Tuesday morning, 14th March 2023 at 10 a.m. A. Motion on approval of Assembly calendar for the second session of the Third Assembly by the Honorable Stephen Mwandhi, Deputy Speaker and Vice Chair of the House Business Committee. B. Report on consideration of nominees to the Ward Bursary Committees by the Honorable Grace Bahati, Vice Chair, Chairperson, Education and Social Services Committee. Tuesday afternoon, 14th March 2023 at 2:30 p.m. A. Motion on change of memberships in committee by the Honorable Nicholas Nzioka. B. Report on the Machakos County Fiscal Strategy Paper for financial year 2023-2024 by the Honorable Dominic Dambuki, Chairperson, Budget and Appropriations Committee. Wednesday morning, the 15th March 2023 at 10 a.m. A. Report on status of Machakos Level 5 Hospital by the Honorable Vincent Mutie, Chairperson, Health and Emergency Services Committee. Wednesday afternoon, 15th March 2023 at 2:30 p.m. A. Report on status of Barabara Mashinani Grading Program by the Honorable Mwoki Musila, Chairperson, Transport, Roads, Housing and Public Works Committee. And B. Motion on marking of boundaries of all access roads in the county by the Honorable Peter Kilonzo, MCA from Bioni Ward. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Next order.
Order number 8, motion, approval of the calendar of the Assembly for the second session of the Third Assembly.
May I call upon Honorable Stephen Mwandhi, Deputy Speaker, to proceed and move the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm Stephen Mwandhi, representing the great people of the Kalakale Katini Ward. Honorable Speaker, that aware that the calendar enables the Assembly to plan the execution of its business and it sets out a schedule of days for the House sittings and days of recess. Aware that Standing Order number 24, Suborder 1, provides that the regular sessions of the Assembly shall commence on the second Tuesday of February and terminate on the first Thursday of December. Honorable Speaker, further aware that Standing Order number 25 Sub-Order 1 requires the House Business Committee, with approval of the Assembly, to draw up the calendar of the Assembly. Aware that Standing Order number 25 Sub-Order 2 provides that once the calendar of the Assembly is approved by the House, it shall be published in the Gazette, the Assembly website, and at least 2 newspapers of national circulation. Acknowledging that the House Business Committee prepared the calendar of the second session of the third Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that, pursuant to Standing Order number 25 Sub-Order 1, this House approves the Assembly calendar for the second session of the third Assembly as annexed in the order paper. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Proceed and identify your support.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as you can see, the annexure number 7, it has got several issues that were outlined or followed while preparing the calendar,
Okay.
and I will go through some as I call the seconder. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with the Standing Order number 24, Sub-Order 1, the second session of the third Assembly will run from 14th February to 6th December 2023, which totals to 132 sittings all 33 weeks. 2 are the key calendar considerations. Roman 1 is submission of the County Fiscal Strategy Paper, CFSP, which ought to be submitted by 28th February and considered and adopted by the House within 14 days. Roman 2 is the submission of the budget estimates by the county government for the financial year 2023-2024, which ought to be tabled in the House by April 30th, 2023. And 3 is the publication and introduction of the House of the Finance Bill by 30th April 2023. This is pursuant to Supreme Court Advisory Opinion, Reference number 3 of 2019. An appropriation bill cannot be passed before the enactment of our finance bill. Then Roman 4 is public hearings by the Budget and Appropriations Committee and the sectoral committees on the estimates. Should be undertaken before the Budget Committee tables its report on the estimates for approval by the House in early June. Then Roman 5 is pronouncement of the budget highlights and revenue raising measures by the CECM Finance, which should come tentatively by 15th or on 15th June 2023. Roman 6 is introduction, consideration, and passage of the appropriations bill by June 30th, 2023. Roman 7, consideration and passage of the finance bill by June 30th, 2023. And 3 is other important considerations, especially for the recess periods. We have Easter holidays scheduled for 7th April, Good Friday, 10th April, which is Easter Monday, and the school calendar, which is also as a table down there, Honorable Speaker. So I think with that, I now call upon Honorable Brian Kisila to second the motion.
Thank you. Honorable Brian Kisila.
Madam Speaker, I will second the motion. At the same time, I would like to make a few comments as a second, that this House needs to look at the CIDP, and the IDP is a document which is very important to this House. And we really need to look at if the timelines which we need to incorporate the CIDP and IDP and approve it. But I second.
Thank you, Honorable Kisila. I now propose the question that, pursuant to Standing Order 25-1, this House approves the Assembly calendar for the second session of the third Assembly as annexed in the order paper. And before I proceed to invite members to debate the motion because Honorable Stephen Mwandi has already highlighted the calendar days. Members, it's your turn. Let's debate this matter. Honorable Ngunga.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. I think this being a procedural motion, I think, Madam Speaker, the House may not need to labor a lot. Now that I think these dates agree with our calendar, other than proposing that I plead with the House to pass it as it is. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ngunga. I now proceed to put the question that pursuant to standing order number 25 sub order 1, this House approves the Assembly calendar for the second session of the third Assembly as annexed in the order paper. As many are of the opinion, say ayes. As many are of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion, approval of the reports of the Education and Social Services Committee on consideration of nominees for appointment to the position of Ward Bursary Committee.
May I now invite Honorable Grace Bahati to proceed and move that motion. Honorable Bahati.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that aware that the objectives and the purpose of the Public Finance Management Machakos County Bursary Fund Regulations 2019 is to provide financial assistance to the needy students, cognizant that the Regulation 11, Sub-Article 1 of the Public Finance Management Machakos County Bursary Fund Regulations 2019 outlines the composition of the Ward Bursary Committee, and further aware that Regulation 12 provides the functions of the said committee. Aware that the Regulation 11, Sub-Article 3 confers the County Executive Committee members with powers to forward the nominees for the Ward Bursary Committee to the County Assembly for consideration and approval, and further aware that the said nominees were forwarded via letter dated 13th February 2023, and aware that an amendment to the original forwarded list was forwarded via a letter reference dated 7th March 2023 in compliance with Regulation 11, Sub-Article 3. Acknowledging that the forwarded nominees were committed to the Committee on Education and Social Services, and aware that the committee scrutinized the forwarded documents in line with the Regulations 11, Sub-Article 3 and 4 of the Public Finance Management Machakos County Bursary Fund Regulations 2019. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that this Honorable House considers and approves the report of the Education and Social Services Committee on consideration of nominees for appointment to the position of Ward Bursary Committee laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 14th March 2023. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Bahati. Call the seconder, kindly.
I wish to request the Vice Chairperson of Education, Honorable Phoebe Koki, to second the motion.
Asante Bi Speaker, jina ni Phoebe Koki, mbunge mteule wa Chama cha Maendeleo Chapchap, nasimama kuunga huo msaada mkono. Asante.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I now propose the question that this Honorable House considers and approves the report of the Education and Social Services Committee on consideration of nominees for appointment to the position of Ward Bursary Committee laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 14th March 2023. May I Before I invite members for the debate, let me call the mover, Honorable Grace Bahati, to take the House through the highlights of the report.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to go through the report, and I'll start from page 14, honorable members. Page 14.
Order, members. Order, members. Are we on the same page? Thank you.
Okay.
Not yet. You don't have?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, honorable members. I'd like
Thank you. Madam Speaker, unless I am the stranger in Jerusalem, I think the document that we are holding as a statement in the chairperson's forward, and of concern is the last paragraph. This is what the chairperson says. It is important to note that it is headed chairperson's forward. I'm just reading what is written. This is what she says. Based on the aforementioned and pursuant to the provisions of the Public Finance Management, page 3, the last paragraph. So, pardon? Not unless you knew what I was saying.
Madam Speaker, I think we should allow the move of the motion to take us through the report. Then after that, we can have time to ventilate and debate on the same. The honorable member is putting the cart before the horse. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Monga. The mover proceed, then we can tackle those issues after you have proceeded. Thank you. Is it about the same subject?
Madam Speaker, we seem to be assuming this assembly. And assuming this assembly is when you come and start giving us reports when we're on the floor of the House. Even as we speak, some members don't have a report. We made it very clear that every committee should submit to this House their reports, even online, 1 hour before the plenary. Madam Speaker, unless we are just coming here to just formalize what we are doing, and the input of members is not required, I think we need to start getting serious. And Madam Speaker, will reach a stage whereby we will refuse to debate motions if we are not well prepared. Because as you can see, even documents are being passed when we are seated down. Has this become a house where we are just rubber stamping documents? We need to go through reports so that we can highlight them and go through them, Madam Speaker. So, with all due respect, let everyone do their work. And we made that resolution the last the second session of this assembly, we made a resolution. Even as you are starting, Madam Speaker, you made a ruling that reports need to come on time. So I'm just making a submission that we don't want to be taken for a ride. Let members and committee chairpersons make sure that we have the documents in about time so that we can go through them even before the session. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kisila. Yes, Honorable.
Madam Speaker, the report before this House seems to be a report that is not owned by anyone. It's just a blank document. It's written, but it's not owned. Procedurally, is it in order for the chair to read a report before this House that is not signed and owned up to? The documents we have are that the report is not owned up to. So we are discussing a report that is not owned up to by the chairperson of the committee. Is it in order, Madam Speaker? We are not supposed to be determining this document because it is not owned up to, Madam Speaker.
The report is being read by the chairperson. She is the author of the document. She owns the document. Yes, let her proceed. She should. She can even sign now. Where is Honorable?
On a point of order, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, of concern to us, suppose she reads to us this and you produce another one and she signs. Are we suggesting that would be true?
And signs it. Yeah. Sign the one she's reading and then sign the others later. Unless you want us to adjourn to facilitate that.
Madam Speaker, we are not frustrating the chair in any way. But procedurally, Madam Chair, Speaker, the procedure of any document that is produced in this assembly as a report that has already been done by any committee, the chairperson owns up to that information by appending a signature to confirm that in the event, because if we discuss this document here, Madam Speaker, and it is not signed, then we are debating a document that is not owned up. So unless with your direction, she goes round and signs all the documents that each and every member owns here, Madam. It is procedural, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you.
We don't have the documents.
May the Honorable Chairperson Education respond to those concerns, kindly.
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
And members.
Before Madam Speaker, the chairperson responds, still we have some members who don't have the report. Can it be availed to them even as Madam Chair responds?
Thank you, Honorable Kavio.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to respond to about signing of the document. Honorable members, before this motion and the report would have been tabled here early in the morning, I did sign the document. Now, the one they should have either photocopied, because this was the only first document I was given to sign. Yes, so it's already signed, and I own the report. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Mheshimiwa Ngunga, then Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think, Madam Speaker, as a father of this House, I think we need your indulgence and your guidance. Because looking at the issues that the members are raising here, Madam Speaker, I ask for your protection.
Let him finish, then you can. Okay. Okay.
Being a father of the House, I would correct you, and I would tell you that I'm a father of this House. Being the second leader or majority leader here, I have the audacity and the capacity to refer to myself as a father of this House. The founding father of the House being Honorable Monga, who is sitting behind me. Yes, that is clarified. And therefore, you will have to enjoy a little wisdom from this member. Madam Speaker, why I'm seeking for your guidance in this matter
Correct.
Before actually the report is tabled by the chair of education, a lady that we respect, Madam Speaker, I am aware, and I have actually looked at the recommendation of the report, is that it's like they are saying that this report does not find its way here. Now, Madam Speaker, the question becomes, if we debate this
Point
reports,
of order, Madam Speaker. Point of order. The honorable member is anticipating what is in the recommendation, and it's against parliamentary procedures to anticipate debate. So he should not be telling us that he is already knowing the
Honorable
procedure.
members,
Thank you.
what I suggest, instead of interjecting all the time, that let the honorable chairperson proceed with the report. Kindly.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable members, I would like to go through the report, and I had mentioned earlier, we'll start page 14, number 10. The said document was tabled in the House on 15th February 2023 and further committed to the Committee on Education and Social Services for consideration and subsequent approval. Upon committal, the Committee on Education interrogated the Chief Officer on behalf of the CEC, Education, on issues relating to the forwarded nominees. The key areas of concern were, Roman 1, why the department had forwarded the list of nominees for the County Bursary Committee, yet the term of the existing committee had not expired. Roman 2, why the department had forwarded 5 nominees for the position of Ward Bursary Committee, yet the regulation requires only 3 nominees. Response made by the Chief Officer on the above raised concerns. Number 13, on issue relating to the County Bursary Committee, the Chief Officer stated Her Excellency the Governor had requested for reconstitution of the said committee, though the reasons behind the proposed changes was not justified. Number 14, the committee was not convinced by the response given by the Chief Officer on the reappointment of the County Bursary Committee because the decision had violated Regulation 9, Sub-Article 4, which gives the existing committee a chance to serve for a fixed term of 3 years, owing to the fact that the County Bursary Committee membership was approved by His Honorable House on September 2021. Based on the above, the committee directed the Chief Officer to forward an addendum outlining the reasons why the current County Bursary Committee membership should be terminated before the expiry of their term. The said information is yet to be provided to the Education Committee. Number 16, on issue relating to 5 nominees of the position of the Ward Bursary Committee, the Chief Officer acknowledged that the document forwarded via a letter dated 13 February 2023 had captured 5 nominees instead of 3. Number 17, to address the stated issue, the Chief Officer re-forwarded a list of 3 nominees from each ward for the positions of the Ward Bursary Committee via a letter referenced date 7th March 2023 as provided in Annex 2. Number 18, members reviewed the list of forwarded nominees and made the following observations. Roman 1, that the forwarded list had not specified the position of each nominee as outlined in Regulation 11, Sub-Article 3. Roman 2, that in several words, the nominated nominees are of the same gender, thus violating Regulation 11, Sub-Article 2, and D, which specifies that the nominee under that paragraph should be a man, a woman, and a man. Roman 3, the committee could not tell whether the forwarded list had complied with the Regulation 11, Sub-Article 4, which states that in nominating the persons referred in Regulation 11, Sub-Article 2A and D, the County Executive Committee members shall take into consideration the representation of persons with disabilities, the youth, and any other forms of marginalization. Roman 5, that the department had not forwarded the curriculum vitae for nominated nominees to the position of Ward Bursary Committee for verification. Committee recommendation. Guided by the above observations, Education and Social Services Committee recommends that the Department of Education resubmits the list of nominees to the position of the Ward Bursary Committee in line with Regulation 11, Sub-Article 3 and 4 of Public Finance Management, Machakos County Bursary Fund Regulations 2013. Acknowledgement. The committee extends its appreciation to the offices of the Speaker and the Clerk of the County Assembly for the support accorded to it in the execution of its mandate and the opportunity accorded to its members to develop this report. I now wish to present this report to this Honorable House on behalf of Education and Social Services Committee for consideration and adoption. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Bahati. And before I proceed to put the question, I wish to make some observations and concerns that members have raised here concerning reports coming late, information being relayed quite late to the members, and of course poor paperwork. Like I remember last time we had poorly printed out documents. And of course, I believe the work of making sure the chairman or chairperson of the committee has signed the report is the work of the clerk. So before this house, I want to request the concerned clerk to pull up their socks concerning this. Make sure members are given their due respect by being provided with the information in advance so that they can digest it and make an informed debate in the House. And this being my second time to discuss issues of clerks not doing their work in the right way, I think I'll not do it again. This is the last time. If it is repeated, we shall take the necessary disciplinary action against the concerned clerk. So take note and amend your ways. Thank you, members. May I now go ahead and I propose the question that this Honorable House considers and approves the report of the Education and Social Services Committee on consideration of nominees for the appointment to the position of Ward Bursary Committee laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 14th March 2023. I invite members to proceed and make their debate. Honorable Ndawa, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Judas Ndawa, the member representing the great people of Matu. Honorable Speaker, I'm standing to agree with the report that has been tabled by our most able chair, Education. Honorable Speaker, in most cases it is presumed that the minority leader is supposed to oppose. This time round, I'm not opposing, I'm supporting. Let it go on record. And the reason why I'm supporting the report, Honorable Speaker, the chairperson together with the committee have given us as a very brief and elaborate reasons as to why they want the report to be taken back to the CCM to collect these small anomalies. Honorable Speaker, from the report, there is what we call deficiency. There is what we call paucity. And there is what we call inadequacy. There are so many things that are lacking. Or that we are not adhered to. Honorable Speaker, I've always said, and I'm saying it again here, this is the highest decision-making organ of this county. And if the highest decision-making organ of this county cannot follow the regulations and the laid-down procedures, it means every other person will not follow. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to say the Committee on Education has done its part. They have highlighted the matters which are. Honorable Speaker, going back to the report, I want to refer you to page, which page is this? There is a table there specifying specific words. Honorable Speaker, the regulation says the ward bursary committee will have 5 members. And the 5 members, one will be the ward administrator, the other person will be the ECD coordinator for that particular ward, and the 3 other members. Honorable Speaker, the 3 other members, one is supposed to be proposed by the area member of that particular ward, and the 2 are supposed to come from the CCM education, and the 2, one, I can see some members trying to shake their hands. Let them sit where they seated and allow me to conclude my
Point of
my
order,
statement.
point of
Yes.
order, and point of information.
Yes.
Point of the
This time round, the assembly
point
is
of
not going to be
information.
used by anyone
Point of information, Madam
to
Speaker.
do things the wrong way.
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
I don't want to be informed.
Point of information.
I don't want to be informed, Honorable Speaker.
I'm informing the
and
House.
I'm requesting
You are
for your
misleading the
protection.
House.
They will have their time.
You are misleading the
Honorable
House.
Honorable Speaker.
Point
Let
of
each
information.
member
This
get
is
Madam
a House
Speaker,
of procedure.
point of
Honorable-
information.
Honorable Ndawa.
Point of information.
A member stands on a point of information, they are supposed to be given an opportunity.
Madam Speaker,
I think
thank
it's
you,
procedural
thank you very
procedure.
much. Unless the minority leader is referring to any other regulations that guides the administration and management of bursary, we do not have where that information where we are explicitly in the regulation allowed to nominate member or the other members to be nominated by the CEC. So I just want to inform you, in the regulation, we do not have that explicit information you are telling us. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Ndawa, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I don't know, some some members may not have taken breakfast. Maybe that's why they are agitated. And you know it's lunch hour. Maybe the sugar levels have gone down. I wish we move very fast so that we can allow them to go and take something so that they can be normal, because they don't seem to be normal. Honorable Speaker, the regulation talks of a man and a woman. And I want to take you to, starting with my word,
I just want to quote back what Honorable Mheshimiwa Ngunga said. He is the father of this house based on precedence. The Honorable Minority Leader is a senior ranking member of this house. So many members, honorable members of this house are looking up to his direction. And when he sees that he doesn't need to be informed, he is setting a very bad precedence. 2, when he says, honorable members, their sugar levels are low, does he have an odometer for the same? I wish to inform the honorable member that, Madam Speaker, he is out of order when he tells that one member shall be nominated by the member of county assembly. The act is here, and it says this, Madam Speaker. According to the Machakos County Subsidiary Regulation of 2019,
point of information.
Part 11, I'm on a point of order. Protecting
Point of information.
There is an established for each ward a committee to be known as the Ward Bursary Committee.
Point of
The
information.
persons referred to paragraphs 2 and 8 shall
Madam
be
Speaker,
nominated
point of information.
by the county executive committee member responsible for matters to relating to education with the approval of the county assembly. So the honorable minority leader should stop misleading this house and saying that the honorable MCS have powers to nominate one member. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member.
Yes. Those information are enough, Honorable Speaker.
Okay.
They are enough. Yes, I'm well informed.
Speaker.
I don't need other information.
Madam Speaker, I was also raised on a point of order.
Honorable Felix, have a seat.
Yes. So, Honorable Speaker,
Honorable
I
Ndawa,
was saying,
proceed.
yes, I was saying, if laws are set, it is this assembly that should be in the forefront to ensure that the laws are followed to the letter. The document is very clear. It talks of a man and a woman. I'm taking you to my 2 ward. I'm starting with my 2 ward. The nominees, the 3 nominees, the 3 nominees are male. There is no female there. Are we within the law?
If I listened to the report very clearly, Honorable Ndawa,
Yes.
it is being taken back to make those anomalies.
And that is why I'm supporting. My argument of supporting is based on this.
So
I'm not opposing. I'm supporting, saying that
okay.
the committee
Proceed.
is 100% correct.
Proceed.
Correct.
Finalize. Yeah.
I'm taking to you another ward, Ikombe ward. The 3 nominees are men. I'm taking you to Masinga Central. Kiva, all are men. I'm taking you to Masinga Central. All are men. I'm taking you to Mumbuni. Mumbuni, all are female. All are female. So we have more than 9 wards which are not following. And again, Honorable Speaker, the issue of PWDs has not been adhered to, according to the report that we are getting. And we are in total agreement that this report, we need to take it back to the CCM to ensure that he correct these anomalies. And Honorable Speaker, I'm requesting, see the 3rd time we are sending the report back. This time around, if it is not corrected, let the House invite the CCM to come before the committee of the whole, so that he can be able to shed light before this House
we reach there.
as to why we cannot follow the law.
Thank you,
Honorable Speaker.
Member. Honorable Ngunga, you've spoken many times. Let me give an opportunity to somebody else. Paul. Father, I will give you an Honorable Paul. Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Paul Wambua, representing the people of Kibaoni Ward. Madam Speaker, I stand to support the report by the Education Committee because the points they put down are very clear for everyone to see. One, on gender, very well highlighted. Secondly, we are not privy to the level of education of some of these nominees, as well as their experience in matters of education, public service, and such. So, Madam Speaker, this house is a house that makes laws, and if we do not follow the law, then we shall be setting a very bad precedence to this county. My proposal is that, due to the time lapse since this report was brought to this house, I propose that we give the CECM 14 days to make the amendments that are required and that are within the law, so that we may proceed to give bursaries to our very needy students in this county. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Well articulated. Very well. Honorable Felix, then Mheshimiwa Vincent.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And as I give my contribution to this report, I would wish to respond also to a statement that was made by Honorable Ndawa, my learned friend. He said that most of the members here seem not to be normal because they have not taken their breakfast and it's ready to lunchtime. Madam Speaker, I would like my learned friend to withdraw that statement because we are all normal here, Madam Speaker. You should withdraw that statement first so that we can continue, because we are all normal. We are not abnormal. Not unless it is substantiated that we are abnormal.
Withdraw, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker,
Proceed.
as I support the report of the Committee on Education, it must go on record that the Ministry of Education is failing our people. Because since we passed the supplementary budget, we allocated monies to the department for our people to get bursaries. It is now 3 months down the line, and our people need to pay school fees, and we are unable to pass a committee here for our people to benefit from these bursaries. Madam Speaker, it seems that most of the articles or whatever in our regulations were not followed. And I want to support the point for Honorable Kibaoni, that we should we should give recommendation to this report, giving timelines to the CEO and the CCM, that within 14 days, because if you look at our calendar, we'll be breaking for a short recess on 23rd of March, then we'll be coming back to this house on 3rd April. Madam Speaker, if with this we go for recess without passing this committee, it means that our people will get these bursaries late in April, Madam Speaker. So I want to support his point that we adopt this report and give them guidelines, timelines within 14, not 14 days, 7 days, that we should get these names back to this house so that we can approve them, our people to be given bursary awards, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Vincent. Then Honorable Deti after that.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Vincent Mutie. I represent the people of Upper Kiowa Ward. And I stand to identify myself with the report as has been read out by the chairperson of the committee. Of importance to us is the regulations as she has highlighted. And the important note that concerns me is the work that this committee is supposed to undertake. Realize that if you look at the functions, number E and number F, it says that that committee shall undertake such other activities as are necessary for the effective application of the fund. We are talking about people who are going to do a very important task for our people. And for an entire department, and by that I mean the education department, not able to follow regulations which are so clear, articulated, which do not need any interpretation, then it points to a serious breakdown in that department. If we can nominate members without considering what the law says, then it means that department should be looked at again. I support what the committee recommends. Let us adhere with the law. Let us follow what the law says. Let the House not pass a document simply because they have to pass it, but let us pass it if it meets the threshold of law. Madam Speaker, you realize that it is not just gender alone, but we also need to factor what the regulation says in number 5, in number 4, that in nominating the persons referred as described, the executive committee member shall take into consideration the representation of persons with disabilities, the youth, and any other forms of marginalization. By passing this document, then we would have given credit to what the department had done. So we will not give credit where the law is not being applied well. Therefore, I support the recommendations that the committee, that the committee member for education and social services should give us a list that meets the threshold of law. Madam Speaker, if I will quote someone who said that the ground is not just the abyss into which everything disappears, it is also the source from whence every form emerges. The ground of constitutionalism is not just the end of the frustrations of our people, but the foundation of the aspirations of our people. We cannot go against the law that guards the dreams of our people. Let the committee member go back. Let them give us a list that abides with the law, and we will pass it. And it is not just any time. As long as it meets the threshold, this House will pass it without any problem. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Before I even give opportunity to Mheshimiwa Ndeti and maybe Mheshimiwa Maeke, Mheshimiwa Mwonga, Mheshimiwa Gunga, I want to say a few things. Mheshimiwa Brian, from what I have gathered from the input by Honorable Vincent is that, and Honorable Felix, is that we must, and that is to go to the ears of the chairperson, that we must adhere to, we must have timelines by which you normalize the anomalies, adhere to the law to the latter. Yes, regulations have been read. Honorable Vincent was reading the regulations, I believe, and the threshold must be met. The marginalized and PWDs must be included in the report and in whatever you are going to bring back to the House. So with those few remarks, may I invite Honorable Ndeti to make contribution, followed by, how did the order go? Mheshimiwa Maeke, yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for catching my eye. Members, I just want to make one point across. In the last parliament, I was the vice chair education, and this county spent a lot of money sponsoring that committee to come up with a regulation, 2019, which worked after that. We never had any issues. Members, if we accept to go with a regulation that is, or an order that is not in the regulation, what we are trying to do is set a precedence where even this parliament, if we make laws, they will never be taken serious. So this is the high time that the executive takes stand measures by ensuring that they follow the regulations that were passed as law by this parliament, so that even our future generations who come here will be able to look at it. If they were making it, amending it to be better than what we had, I would understand. But they are making it worse. So it is very important we go by what we have.
Thank you, Honorable Ndeti. Honorable Maeke.
For this opportunity, I want to take this time to validate on the issue, and I'm standing to support the recommendation that have been brought before the House by the Committee of Education on this matter. And as all the members who have spoken before me, I not try to repeat on the issues they raised, but of my concern is one of the key issues that the committee had a session with the CEC representative education, who was the CEO, and they had a pertinent issue, an issue that is of great concern to everyone. Madam Speaker, you're going to understand that education is a continuous process. And the people who came up with this regulation, they gave a term for 3 years, and after 3 years, people are supposed to be renewed. The essence of all these things is because just like any other government or just like any other institution, is not a one thing off and you want to come and start again. There are things that also need history. You'll understand that the CEC had no apparent reason why they were not able, one, to follow the regulation up to the latter. And they say that they have no reason. And now we are proposing that we refer the matter to the CC again, and I believe the CC may not have, it's my belief, may not have because he has already made their statement, and he is very clear that that the list of the I was referring to on the issue relating to one, they had no apparent, just somebody, and this somebody is the person who asked is like the CEO of the county said, no, for me, we want it changed. My prayer to the House and the Speaker is to give direction, so that when we are trying to follow the law on gender parity, the law on these education levels, we should also consider that, so that somebody tomorrow will not take the county assembly after we approve, he goes and he gets us into issue of stalemate in terms of law, and he says, I was appointed to run for 3 years. However, the House of Delegated Legislation can probably guide us on this, because we are the makers of the law, and we can make law to make everyone comfortable. Of my concern is, I've looked into my ward. We are talking about education. Education is something that should not be taken for granted. How do you take a standard 1 dropout to come and stand in a committee for education? One, are they people? So are they people who are considering? Sometimes we can get into issues. You can take somebody to committee of roads, because roads Nagabion is a gabion, but I don't demean the transport committee. But how do you take education dropout, standard 1 dropout, to be the chair, or to come and demand? They'll not see the essence of education. And I support with all my might, with all my soul, with everything, that this report be taken and we give them lesser time, because we are also getting into problems. People want bursaries, and also it is going to be unfair. We hold the people at hostage as a house. So we need, and last time we gave them enough time. I was raising the concern about the time, and they said they need more time. So how much time should the chair of education need to have this thing resolved? Because I believe if we follow, Madam Speaker, if we follow the regulations the way they are, it is the committees to be, the way I understand, and I believe as delegated, a member of delegated, we were taken through those regulations. It is people are nominated by people from the village, not from offices. And they are brought before. People are vetted by it's the people who nominate these people. Where it is coming, that it is the CC to appoint, that it is law from I don't know, whichever where. And
point of information, Madam Speaker. Point of information.
Point of information, proceed, Mheshimiwa Mike. Have a seat. Okay, proceed.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. It's good I advise the Honorable, or inform the Honorable Member that it is the regulations that were made by this Honorable House, and that is what it entails, that the CEC Finance appoints and brings the name for approval, CEC Education, yeah. So I think on that one, that's what the regulation says. Thank you.
Thank you for the information.
Well guided. Proceed, Father of the House. Honorable Mike, you are done. Are you sure?
Let the grandson, let the grandson of the house continue, because the father should sit down.
Father should always.
Thank you. Yes.
Prevail.
So I was just to make my remarks. I'm saying, let's consider what these honorable members are saying, and these should not be read, because we have an history in this house when people stand and they seem as if they are going in opposite direction, to be blackmailed, to be seen as if they are opposing no one. If things are done right, this motion would have passed, and the House, the Education Committee should stop holding us hostage. They should.
Thank you. Thank you,
Hurry.
Honorable
Thank
Member. Things should be done in the right way. Father of the House.
Thank
proceed.
you, Madam Speaker, and true to my belief that I'm a father of the house.
Former.
No. Always one.
Always father.
Always one,
Thank
always
you.
father.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I think the House has spoken, and I think the House is speaking. And we have been told before that our House works through committees, and I think our Committee on Education worked. And the only good thing that we can do is to support their good work that they did. But Madam Speaker, I am standing here so that I propose an amendment to this committee so that we have something that is actionable. Because if we say that we are going to refer the committee to the same committee, rather the report to the committee without deadlines, then Madam Speaker, I think we'll be in a limbo. And so, Madam Speaker, I'm standing that I propose an amendment to the report. I'm proposing an amendment to the report, and that is allowable. And my report will be, I wish to move an amendment, Madam Speaker, to the report that the CCM Education resubmits the list of nominees to the position of the Ward Bursary Committee in line with the Regulation 11.3 and 4 of the Public Finance Management Act, Machakos County Bursary Fund, Regulation 2019, within 70 days from today, 14th March 2023. Madam Speaker, the reason as to why I'm proposing this is so that this part of this proposal is annexed in the report so that it becomes a part of the deliberations of the House, so that as you put the question and you pass the report, we'll be passing this report with that recommendation that has been proposed by the Father of the House. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Father of the House. Call for a seconder, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And in this connection, I would be asking Honorable Dominic Maida, who is also, I think, a brother of the House.
Thank you.
Uncle of the House.
Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the Honorable Member, I'm the second father of the House. I was the majority whip of this House, for his information. Madam Speaker, I second that amendment. And Madam Speaker, guide us.
Who should be the third father?
I am the first, I am the second father of this House as the majority whip.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, guide us, and I want members to listen to this. There is a very important section of that report that has been quoted by the committee. The term of the current committee. Members, we need to think far and wide. We need to cast our nets far and wide and ask ourselves, what is the legal implications of the same? If we refer this committee report back to the CEC and the Chief Officer, the Department of Education, yes, they will bring the document fine-tuned. But the document is crystal clear that they have no reason as to why the current committee's tenure should be terminated. So if they bring the report and still that matrix has not been resolved, Madam Speaker.
Point of information.
Then it is going to leave this committee in a very awkward position, Madam Speaker.
Point of information, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. That was my submission as I support the amendment. I second the amendment, Madam Speaker, but we need to be guided on the same. If the committee brings the report and that part of the current committee terms in office still stands, what is the legal implication on the same? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes. Yeah.
Please, sorry.
On the same, Honorable Speaker, what the seconder was moving is that according to the report that was brought by the Education Committee, the issue of committee that is still alive is the County Bursary Committee, but not the Ward Bursary Committees. The Ward Bursary Committee's term lapsed, and the County Bursary Committee's the life is still on. So it should be separated so that we may also not be touching on the County Bursary Committee, which its life is still live. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Point of
Was the
information,
amendment on
Madam
the Ward
Speaker.
Bursary Committee or the County Bursary Committee?
The amendment, Madam Speaker, that I moved was on the Ward Bursary Committee.
Thank you.
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Proceed.
On the issue that has been raised by the Deputy Speaker, I will make a request that as talked of the term of the Ward Bursary Committees having lapsed, maybe can give more information on the same so that it's clear when they were appointed and for how long they are supposed to serve and when did their term lapse. That will help the members.
Can we finish then with the amendments, then we come to that? Thank you. On the amendment, I propose the question that the Department of Education resubmits.
Madam Speaker, can I clarify something?
Is it
Please.
on this? Is it still on the?
It is in the same thing that the Deputy Speaker had indicated. What we are talking about here.
Not tackled that. We said we finish with the amendment, then we come to that point. Thank you.
Maybe, Madam Speaker.
Yes,
Madam Speaker,
minority.
I will request for your indulgence to make it clear. When we talk of 7 days, are we talking of 7 days or we are talking of 7 calendar days? Because there is a difference between the two.
So is it calendar days or?
Madam Speaker, this being my proposal, I think members can be able to enrich it. Remember that I just short it so that we are within the framework of some given time. But my indication was that we need to have this thing done within the shortest time. So if we could put it within the 7 days, I think working days, 7 working days, 7 calendar days, 7 calendar days, Madam Speaker, that would be expeditious
So the
enough.
weekends are not counted?
We count them.
Counted, calendars.
7 working days from the 14th March.
Calendar.
7 calendar days.
Yes.
Corrected, Madam Speaker.
Okay. All right, let me proceed without interruptions.
Point of information.
Can we have one meeting,
Point
members?
of information, Madam Speaker.
Is it on the same issue? Let me finish this one and we come to those other issues later.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
I propose the question that the Department of Education resubmits the list of nominees to the position of the Ward Bursary Committee in line with Regulation 11.3 and 4 of Public Finance Management, Machakos County Bursary Fund Regulations 2019, within 7 calendar days from today, 14th March 2023. I put the question that the Department of Education resubmits the list of nominees to the position of Ward Bursary Committee in line with Regulation 11.3 and 4 of Public Finance Management, Machakos County Bursary Fund Regulations 2019 within 7 calendar days from today, 14th March 2023. As many of the opinion say ayes, as many of the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it. Now, maybe I can bring up the issue of clarification from the Deputy Speaker on the issue he raised. Then, Mheshimiwa Brian, you can come in.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. If you refer to page 14 of the report that we have, number 11, the committee ended a meeting with the CEO and Education on behalf of the CEC, and that's where number 12, some of the key areas, the key areas that the committee was concerned on, you'll realize Roman 1 indicated that they asked, they requested, why the department had forwarded a list of nominees for the county bursary committee, yet the term of the existing committee had not expired. That tells you clearly that I may not know the exact date when we passed the ward bursary committee, but according to the information that I have is the ward bursary committee's life expired, but the county bursary committee that comprises of 5 people, whom I think have not been mentioned on this report, the life of that county bursary committee is still on. I believe so, because just based on the report that we are getting from the committee. So that is why I was saying that it is good we clarify between the two, so that we may not think it's now the ward bursary committee that is still running. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. On the same. Okay. Honorable Mwanga is on his feet.
Madam Speaker, I'm reacting on the issue which has been raised by the Honorable DS, that is the Deputy Speaker.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, instead of the DS giving us clarification or what was sought by Honorable Member for Kenani, is just now complicating the matter. We are talking about the ward bursary committees. Yep. And the bullet he has read to this house, it is talking about the county bursary committee. So the question which had been raised by Honorable Francis for Kenani Ward is, does he have any document or evidence to say that the term of the members who were there before we came in had expired? That was the issue. And he has not clarified, unless I'm taught otherwise. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable.
Madam Speaker, the Honorable Member for, the Chair or the Honorable Member for Kaiwa has just stated it clearly, that we just stick to the law. The Act is here with me, Madam Speaker. And it says in subsection 5, the persons referred to in paragraphs 2, subsection A and D shall serve for a fixed term of 3 years, and they shall be eligible for nomination for one further term of 3 years. So we need a clarity about the War County Bursary Committee and also the Ward Bursary Committees, because this act was passed in 2019. 2019, 2020, 2021. We don't even know when the Ward Bursary Committee was put in place. That is what I'm trying to intimate. We need, the committee needs to guide us, and if any ranking member like Honorable Kisela can be here, or Honorable Minority Leader, or Mheshimiwa, the Father of the House and the Deputy Speaker, maybe they can guide this House, such that by the moment we expedite on this matter, we are fully informed that the committee was formed on this certain period of year, so that we can not have any legal tussles on the same. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member. Brian Kisila, Honorable, proceed and clarify that point.
Madam Speaker, Mheshimiwa Mwanga is saying that we are confusing them. In fact, it is a committee, education committee, which is confusing us. Because they are referring to county bursary committee. At the same time, they are referring to ward bursary committee. The letter you received from the executive was not talking about county bursary committee. So actually, you're the ones who are confusing us. So the term for county bursary committee, they were put in office on September 2021. Okay? So their term is still there. The ward bursary committee, when we were here, we formed them 5 years ago. So their term has expired. Now, the issue here is, if you look at the committee's recommendations and where their terms of reference are, and I want to take you to page, so the committee actually, I want to take you to page, yes, I want to take you to page 14. Page 14, the committee is talking about the key issues of concern. The key issues of concern to them, according to the report, was why the department had forwarded a list of nominees for county bursary committee. Yet the term of the existing committee had not expired. What was forwarded to the committee is not a list of county bursary committee. What was forwarded to them was a list of ward. So let's stick to the issue. The county bursary committee is still there. The issue which is at hand is the ward bursary committee. Madam Speaker, I want to contribute and say that I am one person. I am one person who likes to stick by the truth. In fact, I was also contemplating or looking for a solution into the stalemate. But I must commend, Madam Speaker, the level of competence on our clerks. Madam Speaker, we have very high qualified clerks in this assembly. If actually the executive can borrow a leaf and pick a few of our staff to take them through the acts which are here, we will not be in this position. Because it's a very straightforward thing. The law is very clear on what you are supposed to do. And I want to quote one clerk by the name Sarah. This morning I went to see her. And actually she could engage you one-on-one and take you through what is required to be done. If we do what is right, and it's important that we tell Her Excellency the Governor to ensure that whatever we do is right and as per the law. And whatever will come to this assembly, if it is right and is as per the law, I'll be the first one to support it. The minute I see anyone deviating from the law, I'll be the first person to say no to it. And this morning, I looked at the act, and the act is very clear. And Madam Speaker, I would like you to engage the executive. Most of the executive appointees are new, and they have not gone through induction program. So even us, some members here, also including myself, we are still learning. I'm suggesting that we do a proper induction program on all the CECs and county and chief officers so that they can understand what they are supposed to do. If the chief officer education and CEC education has just done a simple thing to read the law, well, they will not be wasting our time here. We are wasting valuable time on a document which is very straightforward. And moving forward, we will actually not, as liaison and as House Business Committee, we should not allow valuable House time to be wasted on something like this. We should be refusing and send it back to the sender when it lands at the point of entry, which is at the clerk. Send it back to the center, because these members have very limited time. We have 1,625 days to go to the next election. Here we are debating on a illegality which has been committed. Madam Speaker, I support Mheshimiwa Ngunga. We will give these people time frame.
Thank you.
And Madam Speaker, we will give them time frame. And in that time frame, we will require the Education Committee to fully engage them so that we get out of this nightmare we are in. Because children are coming for half-term tomorrow. Most of them are fees the balances. I understand the executive has the 38.8 million ready for bursary, but they cannot be passed. They cannot be given because we don't have the ward bursary committee. Let us expedite it and come back, bring it to the House, pass it, and also, please, let us remove interest in matters affecting our people. If anybody has interest, personal interest or whatsoever, let them remove it from matters affecting life. Because by punishing our children, we are punishing life. And Her Excellency the Governor need to guide our team so that we do the right thing. Madam Speaker, I support it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I support it with a very serious caveat that an induction program on our laws, which we have passed, on our bills, together with the executive, we need to pass it. Madam Speaker, thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Mheshimiwa Kavyu, and followed by Mheshimiwa Kitaka.
Madam Speaker, I think as the custodians of the law, we need not to be partial in terms of ensuring that the law is adhered to. And in terms of the ward bursary committees, I'm reliably informed that upon the expiry of the previous term, sometimes last year and probably in the next sitting, I'm going to provide documentation evidence that shows that there are substantial committees that were appointed last year, issued with letters that they were supposed to serve another fresh term up to sometimes next year. Once I have the information, I'll provide. So as we also check on this matter, we also need to ensure, because if we cannot adhere to the law, it means the same people we are reviewing today, we might appoint them, and before they fully serve their term that is mandated by the regulation, somebody changes their mind and decides these people needs to go. Laws and regulations are there to ensure such occurrences doesn't happen. And in an event, it is established that we still have substantial committee. Instead of punishing our kids, as we look into resolving this stalemate, as a house, we can give a direction that the CECM for education can save and rescue our kids by ensuring the committees that were appointed and issues with the letter, unless there are clear reason on why their appointment are being revoked, then those committee can proceed and ensure our children gets money and go back to school as we continue reviewing this matter. Thank you,
Honorable
Madam
Member,
Speaker.
before you leave, the committees, is it ward committee?
I'm talking of the ward bursary committees.
Some appointment were done last year.
And they were supposed to serve for 3 years. And once I have the confirmation on the appointment letters, I will share them with you so that the house can be well guided. In terms of the county bursary committee, I think they still have some times to go up to September if what was highlighted on the report is true and correct. Thank you.
Until you get that evidence, we will be able to deliberate then. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Meanwhile, this is the report I have concerning the County Bursary Committee, Honorable Members, that the same was approved by Assembly on 21st of September 2021, and it's set to expire on 20th September 2024. That is the County Bursary Committee. So that explains that they are legally in office and we should proceed without any issue. For the other ward committees, if we have contrary opinion or contrary information concerning them not having been, others have been appointed last year, we need that evidence to act on it. For now, the ward committees, according to us here, they are expired. Thank you, honorable members. And that is what we are trying to form at the moment. Honorable Francis Kitaka.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am Francis Kitaka, representing Ndalane Ward. I want to echo what the previous speakers have said on this matter of education bursary committees in the ward level. And as I've listened, every member is in support that we refer back the report to the CCM. However, we are all leaders. I want to urge the honorable members in this house that we work collectively. It is not the duty fully for the education committee to have this aligned, Because we all know from where we sit that even in the areas where we have issues, these are issues that each and every independent member can address amicably so that we don't keep this matter waiting. We have our students, our pupils who are in the villages, who are every day being sent home. So I would urge this House, because it's a matter that we are all agreeing that we give this, the Department of Education, CCM, 7 days. Let us also play our part collectively as leaders. And if there is any political interest that has to play around, let us do them before the report comes back to this House, so that once it is in this House, we pass it and have our people settled. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Possible Father of the House, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was wondering whether you are not going to give me a chance to contribute and ventilate on this issue. First and foremost, Madam Speaker, it is good as a speaker you protect the titles of members in this House. Madam Speaker, we cannot have two mothers or two fathers in this House. Madam Speaker, I think I was declared as the father of this House. So whatever Mheshimiwa Ngunga is trying to put a clause, I think he should wait, and when I will not be in this House, he can assume the title of the father of the House. Thank you. That's a close to chapter now.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, it is on this issue we are discussing here. I think I'm the happiest member in this chamber today, because I have seen the maturity in this chamber, and I'm happy that members have now started crawling when they are 6 months old. Madam Speaker, on the issues we are raising here, I think no member shouldn't attest or try to say that members are trying to pull down the executive side because of not passing the list as it is. Madam Speaker, it is good that members, and the mood of the members is that the list be returned to the originator or to the person, that is the CCM of education. Madam Speaker, although it is not in the regulations, a person in his or her normal senses would consider regional balance. Why am I saying this, Madam Speaker? The members who had been submitted to sit in that committee in Masinga Central Ward, they all hail from one village, one sub-location, one location. Yet my ward has 11 sub-locations and three locations. So, Madam Speaker, although that one is not neither here nor there in the regulations, I think it is something that we will sit as a committee of education and ask the CEC to consider. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I now put the question that the Honorable House considers and approves the report of the Education and Social Services Committee on consideration of nominees for appointment to the position of Ward Bursary Committee laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 14th March 2023. As many are of the opinion, say aye.
Aye.
As many are of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. The House adjourns. Sorry, sir. The House adjourns until 2 p.m. today, 14th of March 2023. Thank you.